Hi everyone, welcome to Ece Gurler Art. Today we are starting from the basics. I get this question a lot. Where can I start? I want to start drawing, but I don't know where to begin. This is your beginning point. I'm going to give you 7 useful tips, but besides that, if you want to reach my real-time, fully narrated tutorials, the address is right here. If you're ready to go, let's talk about how to start drawing from scratch. The very first step is about how to hold the pencil. So there are many ways to hold our pencil. The first one is like this. We use our 3 fingers and our grip is very close to the tip of our pencil. This way we have the most control. We usually hold pencil like this when we are given details such as the eye details or clothing details. Here, when you hold it from the back, you will have a looser grip, so it's not going to really have a lot of control. We usually hold pencil like this when we are doing some shading. Another grip I want to talk about right now is going to be a little bit more, again, forceful. Let's say I'm going to use my 3 fingers again, but this time our index finger is actually putting pressure on the pencil. So this way we can again do some shading, but then because the lead of the pencil is going to cover a much larger area, we can shade even more. And here is another method of drawing. When you hold your finger just like this, especially if you're working on a vertical surface, this is great in terms of giving much lighter lines or curves, and it's perfect for your initial drafts. Another light or soft method to do that is just holding it just like this, from bottom to top. Very easy. That's it. Trying to see shapes. This is a key thing to do when you're starting drawing first, because what we do at the very beginning is usually a symbol drawing. We are not drawing shapes basically. What is symbol drawing? Symbolic drawing means when we don't draw the shapes that we see, but we draw things that, like outlines that we think that exist. But it's not exactly what we are seeing. So this is a symbol drawing. And this is an actual photo of me. And in order to draw me much better than this, you need to see the shapes that exist in my face, just like here. For example, here you see a coffee mug. And in this coffee mug, the handle is made of 2 circles. And then you look at the top part, you see another circle. And then when you look at the whole outline of the cup, it's another circle which is very close to a rectangle. When you force yourself to see these shapes, then your eyes will get trained. A very good exercise for this is here. Try to draw this portrait upside down. This is Picasso's portrait of Igor Stravinsky. And the reason it's upside down is when we draw from the top to bottom, we are actually focusing on the shapes, not the whole composition of things. You'll be surprised how well it's going to turn out. Another method that I want to tell you is drawing eggs between 2 horizontal lines. And these eggs will be at different angles, maybe 45, maybe 60, 30, 90 degrees, but it's just going to have these egg shapes, okay? So these represent face or head. And, you know, it looks like an egg when you think about it. And also pay attention how I hold my pencil and how I draw. It's not like one single continuous line, but it's like a combination of small lines that I do very gently. So this is a type of drawing that you need to start getting used to at the very beginning. Now I have my eggs in the basket with every angle. I am ready to explain you the proportions. Actually, I talked about proportions in this video in more detail, but I want to explain just a little bit here too because it's important. So let's draw a bigger egg now, and then we just divide it into 2 with a horizontal line. And then we're just gonna go vertical as well, and we're gonna just divide it into 2 again, so we have 4 equal parts, it's like quarters. And then the lower part, we're gonna divide it into 2 again, and that's going to be the bottom of our nose. And again, the very bottom part, the bottom section, we're just going to divide it into two again, and that's going to be where the lips are. And then you have the basic proportions of your head. So what happens if you tilt your head though? What if you look at left, up? What happens? So as you can see, we get the proportions from the straight face, and then we apply it to this face, our new face. But because it's looking up, then the horizontal line will be upwards, right? It's going to move upward. And when we apply those proportions underneath of that horizontal line, you will see that the chin will be higher than what we saw in the straight one. How about turning right and looking down? Then what's going to happen is just the top part of the horizontal line will be bigger because of perspective, and the lower part will be a little bit more squished. So these kind of exercises will help you a lot in terms of understanding the angles of portraits. Let me show you with a balloon example. Here I'm going to draw these vertical and horizontal lines, and I will show you. Ugh, that's a terrible sound. Anyway, now I have my two balloons, and they're gonna look at different directions. As you can see, the top part gets narrower on the left, and then it gets much wider on the right as they look up and down respectively. If you have balloons at home, maybe you can try this at home and see how the lines change according to the direction the balloons are looking at. And another thing that you can have fun with these balloons, that you can even do a headbang together. Now, very quickly, I want to also show you how to do the body parts. So let's put the neck first, and then we will just draw lines. It can be a curve, just like I'm doing right here. It was a straight line in the middle, and now I'm just going to do a random curve again. And I'm going to decide where the hips are. I'm just using a horizontal line to do that. And of course, after I decided where the hips are, I'm going to add the legs and the feet. You can decide on the posture. For example, I wanted this guy to sit down, but you can, for example, have this little guy to pose, like posing on Instagram by the beach or something. And for the other guy, I'm thinking about maybe kneeling. Maybe he's kneeling to do something. Yeah, just to give a different example. And the next step is, of course, the shoulders. Just like hips, I'm going to use a horizontal line for that. And then afterwards, I'm going to add the arms. You can try different lines like these, different curves, and see what creativity comes up and what kind of posture you actually want to draw. Here, as you can see, the shoulders are ready. I kind of want to, draw this guy as if he's resting or he's proposing. And the other guy, since he's posing, I'm just gonna kind of complete that pose. And there you go. Amazing. And for this guy, it's going to be a reading session. I'm gonna put his elbows on his legs. There you go. See, you can create these kind of different things however you like. It is all up to you. And the last part that I want you to do is to add some movement, some motion to these. In order to do that, you have to kind of soften out those joints. So you go to the shoulders, elbows, and the knees and the hips, and try to kind of soften out those lines, those corners, so those motionless areas become more active. If you do this exercise for maybe 2-3 weeks, then that will be a great improvement in your drawing. Try different poses, try different head directions, try different kind of length of arms or legs. Just play with it. You're not going to regret. Let's talk about hand-eye coordination. So in drawing, your hands need to work well with your eyes and your brain, right? So sometimes they have their own will, but they need to cooperate. So with this exercise, we will try to do that. I have my mug here, tea mug, and then I'm looking at my tea, but I'm not looking at my paper at all. So I have my pencil in my hand. I'm not looking at my pencil, I'm not looking at my hand. I'm just looking at my cup and trying to draw it. And I'm not letting my pencil leave the paper, okay? I'm just continuously trying to draw that cup. And when you look down, you will see that it's not going to look like anything, or probably it's off proportions. That does not matter. This exercise aims to tell your brain that your eye and your hand needs to coordinate. And your eyes will tell your hand to move quickly, but just don't listen to them. Just tell your eyes to go slowly. You need to do this exercise in a slow pace. I learned this exercise in my master's degree in creative and critical thinking. So we're just going to do some random scribbling, okay? And from these random scribbles, we will try to understand, or we will try to see some meaningful figures. And for this, close your eyes and just draw these, lines, or maybe curves or circles, doesn't matter. And then try to see things in them. Just like we are looking at stars, right? Like trying to see what the stars look like. You can change the angles to see better. It's just all up to you. And once I turn, I realized that I saw something there. Get a different color pen or pencil and try to draw the figure you saw. Don't worry about being perfect or giving the realistic effect at all, or even, don't care about the proportions. Just draw the figure, like symbol drawing of your figure that you're seeing in there. I saw, for example, a mother there holding her baby, and then she's trying to feed the baby with the other hand. So this is what I saw. But try with different scribbles during the day, and this is going to be a good exercise for you to train your eyes to see shapes in commotion, basically. All these exercises are very useful for beginner artists. If you practice these every day for 2 or 3 weeks, then you will be ready to draw portraits. And if you want to draw with me step by step, my fully narrated tutorials are available on my Patreon. Don't forget that. We can draw together on patreon.com/Ece Gurler. If you want to continue drawing, hop on my next video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye. Thanks for watching my video. If you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe. And for my real-time narrated tutorials, visit my Patreon, patreon.com/Ece Gurler. Stay with art and love.